I know that if I stay down, if I really humble myself and submit to this journey of growth, sanctification, that what I am looking for will be at the end of this tunnel. Like, I believe that God will present it to me. God will put it in front of me when it's time. If God brings Eve to Adam, then inevitably, as long as I walk this track, then God will prepare and have for me a wife who will be able to walk with me and help me.
Was there ever a time where somebody ever asked you straight up, like, hey, why are you still single?
Yeah, I think whether it was like in a very roundabout way, and I've even had some direct ones like, yeah, why are you still single, Joe?
And what do you tell them?
I don't know. No, but when I think about it, like in those moments, I'd be like, typical answer. And again, I think a lot of it was like, okay, I need to kind of get myself back together. I need to regulate. I need to heal. But man, I think it all kind of comes back down to like, man, I'm waiting on God. I think typically like we are conditioned to enter into that single season and really grow in responsibility, grow in initiative, grow in leadership. And I think for me, man, when people tell me what's going on, why has this gap of your life been like this, why you ain't got married yet? And I feel like for me, man, it's because I was really learning how to be a man. I was learning biblical masculinity. Obviously I spent so much time in the world too. So
I mean, you could mention kind of like that transition,
yeah.
Spending time in the world and then being in ministry and people asking you, why are you still single? What do you feel like is behind that question then? Because there has to be some assumptions. So like, what are they assuming then by just asking it like, hey, why are you?
Is there something wrong with you? Yeah. Like, is something wrong? Is there something behind the curtain that we can't see?
I mean, well, that's loaded in and of itself. But the other side of that is, like, before we even get into over there, is, okay, if they're asking is something behind the curtain, then they think that it's just easy.
Yeah, I mean, to an extent, yeah.
I mean, is that how you would say it? Like,
man.
Because if it was that easy, everybody'd be doing it. You would be married by now if it was that easy.
Yeah.
If I'm getting that correct.
Man, it's kind of a double-edged sword. Like, I feel like for me, dating has been something that I've had to fend off more than I've had to fight to get. And I say that in the sense of just like, I feel like a lot of my time as a football player, like we're kind of athletes, creatives typically spend most of their time in the spotlight. Most people are either attracted to, like I was having a conversation with my kids, just like social hierarchy. Like,
when you say your kids, what do you mean by that?
Oh, I mean like my students. I'm a teacher.
Yeah, just to clarify for the people in the back, you ain't talking about, you don't have no biological.
I don't got no biological kids.
Okay.
Yeah. But just like, we was talking about, we was breaking down social construct, social hierarchy, and typically at the top you see athletes, right? So I feel like for me and my friends, like typically the challenge hasn't ever been, can we find someone or can we get someone? It's can we find somebody suitable? So I feel like for me, a lot of times, the holdup is, one, I spent a significant season just trying to get myself together and figure out who I was. What does it even really mean to be a man of God? How do I walk that out? And then I feel like another portion of this season has been, okay, now that I've kind of got a decent hold on myself, how do I identify someone that's suitable for me? And that's been the journey. That's that one. Now that one is the journey.
But I mean, it's a journey that all of us have to walk.
Yeah.
I mean, I am married. And the wife that I have, she's the first woman that I ever, dealt with, expressed any real interest in. And I remember having conversations and I would ask her who she was and what she was about. And she would give answers, and I just liked the answers. And when I say I liked them, it was like, I could get down with that.
Yeah.
And the next thing was just, are you just going to be about what you say you're going to be about? And she was.
Yeah.
And from that point on, it was, a pretty clear ride. But it's like, okay, well, where else am I looking? Because everybody else, it was never that. It was always, I would even say fall in love with the idea of who they were, perhaps more than who they actually were.
Yeah.
And then trying to figure out how to make those things fit. But we got to turn the corner.
Yeah, it's good.
So people tend to assume, based off of what we're saying here, that a guy like you should already be married.
Yep.
So we got to dig into the reality of this.
All right.
So as we go there, first question, when you first became a Christian, or more importantly, when you got serious about your faith, let's talk about kind of like when that relationship ended and you was like, nah, we gonna embrace all of this word.
Yeah.
So when that happens, what did you think the future of your Christian dating life would look like? Like, you had a vision of what it was going to be.
Yeah.
So what was that vision?
Man, I think Perfection.
Let's go all underneath that word. Let's get all the way in. Let's break it down.
Man, I think like you kind of can almost treat God like a genie, you know? I'm gonna do this, then you're gonna make all my wishes come true. And I think for me, man, when I initially was like, all right, you know what? This didn't work. I kind of got to get myself together. Let's go all in. I'm doing this ministry thing now. Man, it was really a season of, all right, I know that if I stay down, if I really humble myself and submit to this journey of growth, sanctification, that what I am looking for will be at the end of this tunnel. Like, I believe that God will present it to me. God will put it in front of me when it's time. If God brings Eve to Adam, then inevitably, as long as I walk this track, then God will prepare and have for me a wife who will be able to walk with me and help me. That was really my mindset.
All right. So it sounds like you expected that almost like the woman would just kind of present herself.
Yeah.
Like you wasn't going to have to, not that you wouldn't work for it,
Yeah.
but in many ways you would just kind of one day walk into a church, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
and then at some point you would just be like, oh, it's her.
Yeah. Yeah. Like bump into it.
And then it was almost like so you thought it was going to be more like a realization that she'd her, more than like kind of like digging under things or kind of like, that's what I mean by the effort part.
Yeah.
You kind of expected it would just kind of like just happen.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Now, let's talk about the reality. How has that been working?
Man, it hasn't. In the sense of, but I feel like I gotta, I almost gotta dig into another part of the story, but I'll say this, man, I think.
Hey, we got time. We can go there.
Yeah, bro, I feel like, 2022, or in the 20, I think beginning of 23, something like that, I kind of started connecting with this girl and, kind of just sensed that God was kind of like turning that direction, looking that direction, Joe. And, cool. She was a cool girl, whatever. It just didn't work out. She really just wasn't in a place, man. So I kind of spent some time just trying to have to kind of, be able to put things back together from that situation. It didn't, wasn't terribly long. But when I started thinking about at this point walking into a church and seeing it, bro, like I just think that again, the higher you go in ministry, the more, how would you say, the more it takes. Like I think the more it takes in a woman, bro, the more it takes in a wife. Like inevitably, like what I need to kind of walk with now is not what I needed 5 years ago. Like, what I need in this season is completely different than what I needed 2 years ago.
If you're new here, I want to say thank you for even making it this far into the video. My name is Ezra, and I'm the host of Men Explained. And if you enjoy what we do here, it really does mean a lot if you would please like and subscribe. It allows more people to get to see this content through the algorithm. And hey, it costs you nothing. But now, back to the video. I mean, when you say what you needed, because we grow in time,
Yeah.
right? Like who my wife met me as when we first started dating to where I'm at now, I mean, fed up, like doing something like this. That's not who I was.
Yeah.
But at the same time, didn't you say what you need now? Is it almost like the requirements to become your wife have gone up? Is that what you mean by that? As far as like, whatever the standard of what you would have accepted, it's a different standard now.
Yeah, for sure, man. I think at the end of the day, man, like I didn't legit know who I was. I really couldn't even recognize a woman of God, like in total sense. And I think it's become even more, prevalent to me now of what my mission, what my purpose is, and what God has kind of called me to steward. So inevitably, like I am seeing, oh, okay, like, yeah, she's saved, and yeah, she go to church, but like, is she equipped to walk with me in this? Cause this can get weighty. Like, are you spiritually fit enough to step in? Are you gifted? Do you have the grace to walk with me through this? It's very different. And I just think, man, like, inevitably church, bro, I don't think church is really set up. I feel like, discipleship in church is hitting a real low. It's in a rut. And when you start thinking about anybody's development, man or woman, like, 11% of Americans read the Bible. 20% of churchgoers report being discipled. So inevitably, we're doing a pretty bad job across the board all together. It's 2 in 10. So that's to say that, like a lot of, I think, why we are not stepping into solid relationships is because we're not being taught how to take the doctrine and the moral teaching that we're getting and apply it practically and integrate it into our everyday lives.
That's real. You said something in there that I got to react to, though.
Yeah.
Because when you talk about the discipleship piece, that's a large part of it.
For sure.
But even when you talk about like standards,
yeah.
Because see, when people get married young, which does happen,
yeah.
I think, God is at work in space and time. So if we're going to hyper-Christianize it, let's hyper-Christianize it this way. I view it as if you get married young, because I ain't going to lie to you. When I was young, I was dumb. My standards were, do she want to be with me?
Yeah.
That was what I was really working with. Because if you wanted me and I thought you was halfway to cute and you loved God enough, I was going to try to make it work.
Yeah.
Just being real. That's where I was at. Because for many men, I think that's kind of what it feels like at first. As time goes and you come into yourself, it's almost like instead of growing together, so like y'all can both be young and dumb in different ways, but you're growing together and God is chipping away at you. And yeah, some of it might be a little rocky, but as long as that permanence of the relationship is intact and you let God do that work, you arrive in the location that he's going to take you.
Yeah.
But when you take some of that journey by yourself, now whoever's coming in is sort of like they're about to reap the benefits of some of the individualized work.
For sure.
So it's like, okay, it's one thing when you climb behind me when I ain't have nothing, but now I have something going on. So I think that's kind of where the standards, quote unquote, start shifting a little bit. And it's not arbitrary random stuff.
Yeah.
It's like things that actually matter.
Yeah.
It's just that, hey, I would have married somebody who probably wasn't all that respectful at first when I was 22.
Yeah.
And she could have grew on that. But you get older, it's like, no. We got to start off on respect.
Yeah, we got to start there.
Like, see, that's how I'm seeing it. It's kind of like that step up. But now we talking about this reality, so now I got to ask you this.
Now go back to them standards, boy, because, hey, listen, I ain't had none. I had idols, not standards. And my idols was big. Like, I mean, I was dating this chick in college. I dated this chick in college. She was a Buddhist. Listen, I don't know what I was doing. I do. I was chasing an idol. She was pretty. She was bad. Baby was super bad for me in reality. And I think that even as I was even in ministry, man, and like dealing with it. Cause I feel like, we live in digital, revolution now with church and TikTok and IG, and we kind of sold a narrative. And this is what it looks like, and this is how it should be, and this is how it should feel. And all of this is filterized. And all of this is, you know what I mean? So for me, man, even a part of my ministry journey was God kind of showing me, oh, that standard, that's actually an idol. That's not anything that's in my word. That's something that your flesh craves and desires.
And this is around attractiveness.
Yeah.
Okay.
And all of this stuff is just coming from insecurities in your mind, heart, and being.
Okay, that's fair. And I can see that makes a lot of sense that people have like a vision of what they think the person is supposed to look like.
Yeah.
But I mean, like, look like. But then I got to think on this then. So at the end of the day, in the church culture, like as you transition from, a worldly mindset to I'm trying to operate in Christ, you were taught something about how singleness and marriage work.
Yeah.
So I guess, what was it that you were being taught? I'll even say it this way. Is there anything that you used to believe about how it works?
Singleness?
Like how singleness and marriage work. In Christ, because when you're outside of Christ, there's different. The rules is you the rules.
Yeah.
Am I missing that?
No,
when you're outside of Christ, you basically the rules.
Yeah.
So, I mean, wherever you get your standard from. But so yeah, what were you taught about how to do singleness? Because you always wanted to be married. It wasn't like you, or matter of fact, was there a phase where you decided maybe I'm not sure?
Never.
I mean, I had to ask.
Never. No, it's always been a desire. Because honestly, that's been my vice. Relationships was my vice, man, for the longest.
Okay. So then in Christ, then who are you learning from about how to do singleness and like date and like where was it a podcast? Where was it coming from?
Man, it was the boys, like our little groups, our discipleship groups, and bro, it was our teaching from church, man. Yeah, bro. Like a lot of it was centered around be single, be content, get through it, and
then she'll just show up.
And it should show up. And as you're running, you look to the left, look to the right, it should be there.
I mean, I'm trying to understand what did that look like practically.
Yeah, I don't think it's a lot of practical, and I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like, and don't give me, like, don't even, because I don't even want to, because I'm not saying that won't happen for you, because I do believe that everybody meets their wife a different way. I believe for some people it's divine appointment, you're going to bump into them. I believe for some people, God is presenting them to you just kind of like Adam and Eve. And for some people, like, you look at, he who finds a wife, right? For some people, you're going to have to get out there and get in proximity. And you will see your wife as you see God and get close to it. But like for me, man, like in that single season, it ain't. I feel like, honestly, it's a pretty untapped area. I think we kind of hit it in February and then we don't touch it again. So.
Oh, you mean like a Valentine's Day kind of like a series in that way.
Yeah.
And then after that, it's like, it don't even come up. I mean, this isn't just about any one message, but how helpful I'm asking you.
Yeah.
like on a personal level,
Yeah.
how helpful have those types of messages been for you? Like, is
Hmm.
there anything that was said that you're like, nah, that right there, that was good, and you held on to it?
Yeah.
Or has it because it's possible that it might have sounded good in the moment, and then after a while, it just kind of, you can't even really remember or recall.
Yeah. Yeah.
So yeah, like when you bring up those, relationship related messages,
Yeah.
like, do they work?
Yeah, I mean, like, honestly, bro, like, I feel like they helped me steward and get on track and get on track. I think for me, there was a moral deficit at one point, right? There definitely was a doctrinal gap. So there were seasons where that is what I needed. Like, I needed to know that Adam was in this garden alone. I need to know that God put him there on purpose. I needed to know that God had given him work and responsibility and all of these things that would play into that. But I do think that there was a point I got to where, okay, I kind of got the moral side and I got the doctrine side of it, the systematic side. Now I could really benefit from more practical, integrated lessons and experience. And I think for a lot of men, that's what we're missing. I think for a lot of men, like it's like, okay, you teach me this, but where do I actually how do I actually apply that here?
I mean, is it something just men are missing? Or is it something that the men and the women are missing? Because it takes two for a relationship to work.
They do. I think it looks different with women. I think it looks different with women. I think with men and just, patriarchal society and men approaching women, you see it first with the men, but inevitably it's on both sides.
Was there a moment over the past few years, I guess, where, with everything you just said, you kind of realized like, this practical thing is just kind of not here. Like that part is just not working. They're not giving us that.
Yeah. 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 I feel like over the past, honestly, it's become pretty evident to me over maybe like past year. So like, oh wow.
So recently.
Yeah, recently, bro. Recently.
And well, in this whole journey then, because now you're saying the practical wasn't there, was there a time where, I mean, considering you said you wanted to be married,
Yeah.
still do, but you're not there,
Yeah.
and that practical piece you now realizing wasn't really coming up, but I guess, did you ever assume or come to a point where it's like, well, maybe I'm the problem?
In what sense? Tell me more.
As far as like, if you, do dating differently or
Yeah.
approach it differently, then you'll get different results. Versus, because the plan was, I'm going to keep rocking this thing out and she'll just be here one day.
Yeah.
I'll just look to the left and be like, oh, I don't really know how that works. Like a spotlight hits them or they wear a shirt that like says your wife or whatever. I mean, and that's not to be facetious. It's like, how does that moment click?
Yeah.
But since that's not exactly how it went, like, was there like a point where you realize like, I might have to do something different?
I don't think it was a moment where I realized it. I think it was a moment where I think it was like prescriptive moments where God was giving me what I didn't know I needed. And what I mean by that is like, you start thinking about what are men missing practically? They're missing relational leadership. They're missing emotional regulation and confidence. They're missing initiative, integration. So like these were things that I was learning along the journey. So like, sales, career sales, real estate, I was learning social confidence. I was knocking on 110 doors a day. And hey, how you doing? My name is Joe Jackson Jr. I work with Miss Susie right next door and I help her with her stuff right here. Look, I pulled up and I saw that you kind of had some stuff going on. And honestly, just kind of wanted to chop it up real quick and kind of see what you were doing for, your arrangements this year. Like I did that over and over and over and over. I dealt with rejection over and over and over. So these were moments where God was conditioning me and giving me what I needed even before I realized it. And it wasn't until I kind of stepped back one day in a conversation with some of my boys and realized, oh shoot, everybody ain't got this journey. Like everybody didn't learn some of these pieces. And inevitably, like I didn't get this in church. Maybe church spoke to, you need to be a man and stand firm and you need to lead and speak up. But like what I'm saying is that like practically how that looked and what I had to, there were moments where God was bringing that along throughout the course, man. Even like emotional regulation, like I feel like there were certain pieces like biblically like that we were able to get through sermons. Bro, I learned that stuff, the Christian counselor. Like we're sitting there just chopping it up just like this. And she's teaching me like, oh no, like the reason that this is happening is because of trauma conditioning. Like this is rumination. Like this is how you break out of that loop. This is how you deal with that. This is how you apply, integrate, and get back to natural habits. So I think that again, like those are the conversations that men are missing. Honestly, a growth track. Like we got the whole, we got the theology. We ain't got it all, but we got some of it. But we need practical help now.
If you actually made it all the way to the end of this video, I do have to admit that thank you doesn't do it justice anymore, because you are a real one. My name is Ezra, and I'm the host of Men Explained. And if you enjoy these conversations and what we do here, it means a tremendous amount if you would please like and subscribe.